Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. I've got a really interesting evening tonight to introduce you to three guys that are doing technology invention in Zambia, in Africa, East Africa. And I thought it'd be kind of interesting. I was introduced to these gentlemen that are doing a bunch of healthcare-oriented software and technology development, and thought it would be kind of interesting to find out about invention in Africa, because it's not something that a lot of us in Canada and the United States are aware that's going on. So I want to introduce you to Edward, Fira, Aubry, Muchera, and Billy Peter Maneyemba. How badly did I pronounce your names? All probably pretty badly. I apologize for that. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Maybe I could start with Edward. Edward, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Thank you very much. It's good to be on the show. So my name is Edward Perry. I'm a tech entrepreneur, founder and CEO of Robotics Zambia. So yeah, I'm fascinated about technology and I'm eager to learn with technology. So what we do, we teach robotics in school and programming.
Teach robotics and programming.
Yeah, yes, teach robotics and programming in all sorts of areas. So yeah, I started learning programming when I was in 6th grade. So that's when I began to gain interest in all sorts of tech industry and to see what I can offer to the world and what I can bring out to there. Yeah.
Awesome. Billy, introduce yourself, please.
Okay, cool. It's amazing to be here. I'm so happy to be part of this. So I'm actually a software engineer by profession, and I ran a startup called Blissip Inventions, which mainly deals with innovations and inventions. And usually we, attract young people who've got ideas, and then we make sure that we work together in terms of resources and building the actual thing. And also there are a number of innovations that we work on that, help within our communities.
Fantastic. Aubry, introduce yourself, please.
Okay, so my name is Aubry Muchena. I'm an embedded software engineer, and I'm the founder of EO Robotics, a tech company that is specialized in robotics, artificial intelligence, and also provides STEM education in the fields of robotics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning.
Fascinating. So, I wouldn't have thought that Zambia had a big tech sector. Is the tech sector in Zambia large or small? Anyone can answer.
All right, thank you very much for that. Looking into tech sector here in Zambia, we are growing, and it's a journey for us here to experience, to see a lot of young people here are enjoying how about tech sector here in Zambia is. So we are pushing, even that we have the president who is more into technology here in Zambia, which is so super exciting to us as young entrepreneurs. We are really eager to work with him and looking forward to what he can offer. And here in Zambia, I would say about now, it's exciting, and we are looking forward to see how we are going to move forward in Zambia. So as per se, I can say, yes, it's progressing here in Zambia in all sorts of ways.
Can one of you sort of describe where Zambia is? Because maybe people here in Canada aren't aware. Billy, how about you?
Yeah, so Zambia is actually located in the southern part of Africa, and it's a landlocked country. I'm sure if you look at the map there, it's surrounded by a number of countries. So it's actually a landlocked country.
What's the population of Zambia? Any idea?
Sure, we're about, I think now 20 million people or more.
And where are you guys located?
We are located in Lusaka, which is the capital city of Zambia.
And whereabouts is, it's right in the sort of the southern portion of Zambia?
Yes, yes.
And what is Zambia forested, plains, desert? Tell me what the topography in Zambia is like. Aubry, what's the topography like? Is it plains like Kenya, or tell me what the topography of Zambia is like?
Okay, so in Zambia, we have cities, and also there are some parts where like you find forests and also plains. Yeah, so I'd say like they're both cities and also there are some like forests.
And the capital that you're in, Lusaka, how big is it? Does anyone have an idea? Aubry, do you know?
I would say it's a bit bigger. It's more like if I'm not mistaken, it's 300 and I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Sorry.
But it's a vibrant city, vibrant capital city with some universities and schools.
Yeah, it does have those.
Excellent. We're going to take a break for some messages and come back in just 2 minutes with these gentlemen talking about the technology sector and their businesses in Zambia. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. We're chatting tonight with three inventors of technology, of high tech, of IT in Zambia, in East Africa. I didn't know that there was much technology invention going on, technology development in Zambia, and so I thought it'd be really interesting to chat with these guys about how they got started and what they're doing and how they're trying to change Zambia, Africa, and the world. So, Edward, tell me a little bit about what some of the projects you're working on right now, and what do you think the impact of those projects are going to be?
Right. So like I mentioned earlier on, I mentioned that you are working with schools. So on all those parts of Lusaka. So what we are currently working on, we're working on a robot called a social companion humanoid robot. So this is a robot that can interact with humans. So through like interactions, it can hug you, it can teach you, it can sing lullaby songs, and all sorts of that. So the social impact for this
Sorry, it can sing songs?
Yes, it can sing songs, of course, yes. Yeah.
So this is like a robot that's a friend?
A robot, like a social companion humanoid.
Social companion.
Yes, so this robot, it helps like to teach about education. It helps to teach you learn programming. It helps to teach you learn all sorts of things, like how you can like stay well-being in your social life, in all sorts of parts of human life and all that.
Why do we need a robot to do that? Why don't we just go out and get a friend?
Oh, yeah, great. So we thought of like a humanoid robot, like when we introduce these things or we introduce the technology, people are fascinated by to see these things. Okay, they say, all right, that's a robot. Oh, cool. Maybe what are the questions that I can ask it, and what are the questions that I can get feedback from? We said, okay, so these are the things. You see, it brings people and people to get into one place so that they can interact with each other, to come and learn or build something cool from there. And from there, they get to pick it up and to build something. Like, for example, they can get to learn on how to build applications. They can get to learn on how to interact, and also looking into social networking and do all sorts of that.
Fascinating. Billy, why don't I turn to you? Tell me, what is it that you're working on? Is it the same project or something different?
Yeah, there is another project that we are doing. I think I'll talk about two of them. The first one is a life-saving dispenser for drugs. So this is a wonderful dispenser. It dispenses a number of drugs. So the reason why we are building this innovation is because we are looking upon the people who are infected with HIV. For now, it's critical, to go and collect ARVs, because people would even know to say that person is infected with HIV. And because of that, a number of people are failing to collect ARVs, and we know that leads to death at the end of the day. So that dispenser is a dispenser that you can install it at a mall, at a public place, and it can dispense for malaria, it can dispense for TB, it can dispense ARVs, even things like talk time and units for electricity. So you come to realize that people, when they go to the hospital, they can get a prescription and they can go to any machine and collect the medication which they've been prescribed to collect. And also those who are infected with HIV, they can just go to the machine and collect, and no one will know to say, these are buying talk time, these are collecting HIV, drugs or for other diseases. So it's a beautiful kind of a dispenser. And one unique feature again about it is that it packs medication. Here in Zambia, mostly, once they prescribe the medication for you in the pharmacy, they'll pack manually in the plastic where you can collect the medication. And sometimes you'd lose, when packing, they would lose maybe 3 tablets at that particular health center. And we have more than 500 health centers in Zambia, meaning every day they lose about thousands of drugs, which leads to shortages of drugs. So by the use of the same machine, it packs drugs automatically without losing them. And then the other one, it's a power system.
It sounds just like a vending machine, though. So has it got a bunch of technology greater than what you'd expect in like just a soft drink vending machine?
Yeah, actually, it has a wonderful software that we've put inside, that links different hospitals, so that once someone collects the medication, it even keeps the record of that particular person, so that even if he goes to the hospital, they can track the record of how he's been collecting the medication using the machine.
In Canada, to get medication, you need a prescription from a doctor. Do you need a prescription from a doctor in Zambia? And how does the vending machine or the machine ascertain if you've got the appropriate prescription?
Awesome. So even here, for you to collect medication, you need a prescription. So what happens is when you go to the hospital, they prescribe the medication for you, and then they will give you a prescription code. Now that code, you can use it in any machine to collect the medication. So the dispenser will dispense the exact drug that has been prescribed, because the system at the hospital will link with any dispenser around the town or anywhere.
Fascinating. And sorry, you were going to tell me about a second technology. I interrupted. What's the second technology that you're working on?
It's called the BPS. It's a power system. It's quite an amazing one. And I'm sure at the time we're going to launch it next year, it will be more amazing. So it's a system that keeps, charge almost in its normal range despite being used. What I mean is, I'm sure you're using a laptop or a mobile phone. So by connecting to a BPS system, you can use your laptop for more than 6 months without recharging, or your mobile phone. So basically,
awesome. That would solve the battery problem. So how do you do this?
There's a technique that we came up with. I think that's a unique part of it. We are calling it the power revolver. We know the principle of physics, that there's perpetual motion, but it's a wonderful system that keeps charging despite you are using it. So there's that unique feature that we've added. So
it charges just as you use it. How does it charge if it's not collected to electricity somewhere?
There's the same system is the one that maintains charge. So basically, it maintains the same charge.
It maintains the charge.
Yes, it maintains the charge.
Oh, that sounds fascinating. I'm gonna have to try to figure out how it maintains the charge. And let's turn to Aubry. And Aubry, tell us what technology you're working on, sir.
Okay, so for me, we've been working with Edward on the same robot, but I would just say on the other part of the projects that we do. So we all know that Africa has got the youngest population, and we need to make sure that our workforce is ready for the future. Most of the classes that we have here in Africa are most based on theory. So, and we cannot just talk theoretically about technical skills. So the type of skills that we offer at EO Robotics provides students with the skill of working together and to be able to implement their learnings in the fields of robotics, artificial intelligence, and of course, machine learning. So that's one part of the project that we've been working on. We have taught about 2,000 plus students here in Zambia, robotics and coding. Yeah.
Aubry, are you associated with a university, or does this teaching that you do, is it independent of a university?
It's just independent.
And so this is like an independent school that you've established as part of your company?
Yeah.
Really fascinating. And tell me, what is machine learning?
So machine learning is where you have the machine to understand the environment and the world around it. So for example, you teach a robot to be identifying or recognizing faces. So you ask the robot, for example, the robot sees me, it will know that, okay, this is Aubry. You tell it that, okay, this guy is Aubry. The next time it will see me, it will actually recognize that, oh, this guy is Aubry. So you are helping the machine to learn the environment around it and the place, yeah.
So is machine learning like artificial intelligence?
They're not the same. Artificial intelligence is more like a human is writing code for a robot or a machine just to perform specific tasks. But for machine learning, the robot will learn according to the environment that is in. and it's able to function according to how it sees the environment.
So in artificial intelligence, the human is telling the machine how to think, but in machine learning, the machine is actually educating itself over time how to think. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Fascinating. And Edward, maybe tell me, why do you think students in Zambia are interested in learning about robotics and machine learning?
Thank you for that. You take a look about Zambia's population, actually to young people here in Zambia, they are mostly looking into, like, for example, I would say, taking drugs, alcohol, whenever when you're walking into the community, they just do all those things. But we've thought of coming up with an initiative, which is this, that helps to teach young people. And we thought of, okay, this is the number of people that we have picked. So out from there, we have picked from the number of students who are interested. We go in schools to say, okay, for those who are interested in learning programming and technology, in learning artificial intelligence and robotics, can you please sign up the contract so that you can get familiarized with whatever thing that you want to learn and whatever project that you want to build out from there. So we thought of, okay, this is an initiative that will help a lot of young people here in Zambia to take a look around and to see what they can build and what they can offer to the community and to the world at large. So a lot of people here in Zambia, I would say they are mostly into drug abuse or something like that. So we are trying our best to look into that field so that we can change people's perspective to say, okay, follow the right path rather than just looking into getting into drugs and getting into dangerous things. So, yeah.
So instead of alcohol and drugs, learn machine learning and robotics.
Very much, yes.
Sounds impressive. You know, Zambia is landlocked, and there was a famous book called The Bottom Billion by a British economist that said the biggest challenge for countries in Africa is those that for some reason didn't have a seaport because they couldn't get involved in trade and really join the international economy. How do you guys think you're going to be successful, or how is Zambia going to be successful in this, you know, competitive world where you don't have access to seaports? Any one of you? Billy?
Yeah, I think one of the countries that are close to Zambia, I think they have the ports. For example, we can talk of Tanzania. Tanzania is a neighbor of Zambia, and most of the times whenever we want some stuff that needs to be shipped by ship and stuff like that, we usually use those ports. So I think it's also an advantage to us. We are not just landlocked where the countries doesn't have ports, but they are. Even Mozambique has, so at least we've got countries which have that.
The city is quite beautiful, at least from the pictures that I've seen on the internet. How would you describe your capital city? Edward?
All right. So Zambia is it's a Christian nation, and we believe in uniting and working together as a whole country. So we believe we can do a lot of things, and we have, of course, museums, we have parks, we have animals which you can interact with, and wonderful people here in Zambia to where like you can get to know a lot of things. So yeah, Zambia is a Christian nation, and we believe in uniting and delivering a good news out there, and to see on how we can help people in one as according. So one Zambia, one nation, that's our motto, and we believe to achieve one thing. Yeah.
Are there many universities in Zambia or in your capital?
Yes, there are a lot of universities in Zambia and colleges as well. We have plenty of that here in Zambia. So we get to learn from all sorts of these things. Yeah, we have a lot of that in Zambia.
Is tourism an industry in Zambia?
All right, so we have a tourist capital, yes. Yeah, we have that in Southern Province, which is the tourist capital. A lot of people get to go and visit our Victoria Falls, actually. So which is a wonderful view from here. And yeah.
Excellent. Have all of you lived in Zambia your whole life?
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Yes.
For me, yes.
And tell me, do you stick pretty close to Zambia, or have you traveled around the rest of East Africa or Africa? Have any of you been to other countries, and what countries have you been in Africa?
All right, that's great.
Go ahead, Billy.
Okay. Sure. We've traveled in other parts of Africa. For example, South Africa, Kenya, Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, yeah, and these other countries.
And what about you, Aubry?
For me, I haven't yet traveled.
And Edward?
Traveled only one part of outside Zambia, that is Malawi only. Yeah.
And I guess none of you have been to Canada.
Yeah, none of us have been to Canada first.
Not yet. Well, I've had the pleasure of speaking at a conference in Nigeria. And so that was my only time in Africa. It was really quite interesting. And Nigeria is quite an advanced city as well. I was surprised, or at least Lagos, the capital of Nigeria, is. It's got a population in one city, the same population of all of Canada. And so one of the things that I think is astounding for North Americans to realize is the density of the population in Africa. And as you mentioned, the density of young people. I think that some of the statistics suggest that Africa will be more populous than China within the next 10 years or so, and will certainly have more young people. And China already is suffering a decline in the population of young people and more retired people. And so therefore the energy of the future from a youth standpoint is going to be Africa. And so you guys are doing a job in educating that youth and getting them involved in technology. So I appreciate that. We're going to take a break for 2 minutes and come back with these gentlemen just in 2 minutes. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio while we're on Saga 960. I'm interviewing tonight 3 guys from Lusaka, the capital city of Zambia in East Africa, because I learned that they're involved in a bunch of technology, invention, development, IT, and it's been a really interesting conversation because it's frankly something that I didn't realize was going on. I had a similar experience that I went to Nigeria a couple of years ago and was frankly shocked and impressed at how vibrant the film industry was, the technology industry was. I was thinking that Nigeria was only really a resource extraction country, and they do obviously extract a fair amount of oil and gas, and they've got a fair amount of resource industries. But the small and medium-sized businesses were growing fairly dramatically, and so I wanted to reach out to these gentlemen to learn something about Zambia as well. I understand Zambia is about 20 million people. There's about 3 million people in the capital city of Lusaka, and they're starting to do a lot more trade in interaction with countries around them. They say that one of the reasons why they can survive, even though it is a landlocked country, is because of cooperation with some of the countries bordering them. Billy, you were saying that you wanted to talk a little bit about how you guys work together, how you collaborate, how you interact. Tell me a little bit about that if you could.
Okay, cool. So me, Aubry, and Edward, we usually collaborate together to work on different kind of projects. I think I'll talk of one, and I feel maybe my colleagues will also talk about other things. So like we've built a company called Mentolank. I'd say it's a Zambian Canadian company that deals with mental health, definitely with the support of a call center in Canada. So this company mainly deals about, mental health issues. Like here in Zambia, we have a lot of cases concerning people killing themselves, depression, and stuff like that. So this company is an amazing company that will definitely help, different kind of people to prepare in advance what they can do in case they face such kind of challenges.
You're saying suicide is a big issue. Why is suicide a big issue in Zambia?
Looking at the economy, more especially after the pandemic or during the pandemic, things have never been the same. Things are tough. And because of that, I feel it has also contributed a lot for people to have those mental issue problems leading to suicide. Right.
Billy, I was interested that you were telling me about this robot that was sort of like a social friend, someone that you would talk to and that would be there for you. Is this maybe compounded by the pandemic where people were interacting with other people live in life less often and more restricted. One of the reasons why you think that this robot that is your social friend is helpful?
Edward.
Billy, I was asking you.
Right.
Sorry, not Billy. I apologize. Edward.
Okay.
Great. Sorry. Yeah. So on that part, yeah, looking into like the social pandemic that was there. So yeah, even the robot can be added as a contribution to that part so that it can help a lot of people. Like Billy mentioned, if someone wants to commit suicide, so the robot is there also to support those people so that they can be in that field whereby they feel supportive to also do the surrounding in also parts of the community that they're living in. So we feel like we are delivering a good support to a lot of people. So even the robot is a part of contribution to them so that they can feel helped in all sorts of areas that they want to.
That's fantastic. I really congratulate you.
Sorry, and if I can also add, so apart from that, what Edward has mentioned, the part of robot, it's helped to connect people together and also helping people to learn new skills. As they're asking questions, they're also learning like some basics of programming, those things. Yeah.
So just getting some basic education and programming is something that gives them what? Some social interaction or just something to do?
Social interaction.
Really excellent. So you think that just getting them into courses is helpful? I think that's probably true. I think that in Canada, one of the things that we found is that people were supposed to be educating themselves via Zoom and other vehicles, but they spent a lot of time just not doing it, playing games and other things, and they ended up not interacting with the teachers or the other fellow students as often as they could or should. And now I think that a lot of schools are putting in remedial programs to improve some of the educational, things that people should have learned that they didn't learn during the last 2 years when too much of the teaching was done remotely. So I think that that's an important issue. I was really interested as well, Billy, in your explanation of this vending machine, this machine that dispenses pharmaceutical products, medicines to you. What we hear is that the preponderance of HIV is far greater in Africa than it is here in North America. Is there a stigma associated with going to a drugstore and getting your prescription? And so is that one of the benefits, is that you can do it a little bit more anonymously?
Exactly. I've worked in health for about 4 years, and I've also worked under art clinic, where you deal with people infected with HIV and also the collection of ARVs. So stigma is very high here, very high. I'll give you one lifetime scenario, a real lifetime scenario, where I was working in the same pharmacy, giving out ARVs, and someone I know very well came, and when he saw me that I'm the one giving out ARVs, he went outside, and it was a bad feeling because I never saw that person again to collect medication there. And each time we would meet, it would be a big deal, thinking maybe I've explained to people, told my family. So it's a big deal. People stop collecting medication just because they know to say there's someone they know there or people would know. So they would travel from one city to the other to go and collect ARVs. And few people can manage that because of maybe financial stuff. So some they tend to stop. So because of that machine now, there will be no issue of saying someone will see me that I'm collecting ARVs. It will be them with the machine.
I wonder if one of you could tell me a little bit about what you think the future of technology in Zambia, and that you're working on technology for the rest of the world, for Canada and for elsewhere, is going to be. Is this going to be a trend in the future that there's going to be more sort of cross collaboration between countries and we're going to hear more of technology in Zambia, or is it just going to be something that you guys are working for in Zambia for Zambian residents alone?
I feel like yes, we are looking forward to that and see on how we can collaborate with a lot of countries and with a lot of companies outseas and what's like globally in cities. So I feel like, yeah, Zambia is growing to work with part of Africa, part of the world, and all sorts of everyone here. So yeah, Zambia is growing up, and to see that we are pursuing good things in technology, to see that we are pushing, and to see that you see in Zambia, they're coming up with a lot of things. We feel like it's a good achievement, and to see that each and everyone is pursuing to come up with his own idea to see on how they can work forward and what are the social impact they can give to the community and to the world. So yeah, I feel like it's coming up in the next, I think 5 to 10 years, we'll see something is happening. We'll see as soon as possible so that we can start collaborating with a lot of companies, engaging in most possible ways so that we can work together. Yeah.
Well, you guys are going to have to come to Canada sometime and teach us a little bit about machine learning and technology and everything else. It's a small world, even though it's a big world, and we're not that far,
sure.
We're not that far away. So we'd love to have you join us. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for joining us tonight and telling us a little bit about what's going on in Zambia and technology and some of your interesting projects. If people want to check you out, do you have a website that people should go to check you out, or a Twitter handle or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. So we have our website. You can visit us on Robotics Zambia, Brisby Inventions, and also you can visit us on our socials, LinkedIn, and yeah, that's right.
Well, it's been a real pleasure getting to know you, gentlemen. I really appreciate it. Good luck with your inventions. And when one of those robots, Edward, is up and running and you want to introduce me on the radio to him, please do, and give me a call back and we'll connect you up again. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Excellent. We're going to take a break for some messages and come back. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what my impressions are of Africa, which I think is the continent of the future. And I had the pleasure of being a keynote speaker at a big conference about why Africa is something that we need to be far more aware of, invested in, and involved in, because it really is going to be, I think, one of those engines, just like maybe China and Asia were in the last sort of evolution, and Japan in sort of the 1980s and 1990s, 50 years ago. So we're going to be back in just 2 minutes. Stay with us, everybody.